Welcome to the Manager Matt podcast show. The show is designed to give you solutions to your day-to-day management and leadership problems. It's hosted by Matthew Haddock, a frontline manager and leader with over 25 years of experience. If you're ready, then let's get on with the show.
Welcome to the Manager Matt podcast show. I do hope you are well and delivering results through your team. This show is designed to improve your leadership and management skills with practical advice from myself, Matthew Haddock, a leader and manager with over 25 years of experience. This week's show, I want to talk about you being busy, and why you should stop it. But before we get into it, if you could please do me a favour and subscribe to the show, like it, comment and share it. It would really appreciate it, and we would get the message out to much more people who really need it. You know what it's like when you've got a poor leader or a poor manager. You really need them to have some advice and help, so please share it with those. And of course, whilst you're there is the Lean Business Improvement Show, which is also around focusing on improving businesses by removing waste and making the customer experience that much better. So, what is it today? Let's get down to business, as they say. I'm sure there's a song in it. We've all been overwhelmed. We've got to the new year and you've come back to work and you're just thinking, oh my word, where is all this work come from? I wish I'd have done it before the end of last year. Or you've come back from a holiday and realised that mountain of work that you left, nobody else has done it. Surprise, surprise, no one else has done your work. Hey. And you seem to be getting nowhere. You're stuck in this forever funnel, almost like in the bottom of a bathtub, just spinning around. There's so much urgent things that you need to do, but you don't think they're really important. You've got the phones ringing, the emails are pinging, the messages are coming in, and you've got this mountain of work you just can't seem to get on top of. You're not on your own. If you go ask anyone, and if do it this afternoon when you're walking around, or this morning, whenever you're listening to this, ask someone, how are you? How's things? How's work? What will they say? They'll say, busy, just busy. You know what it's like, it's busy. That could be bred into us. You know, when people ask you, you're busy, you don't want to say, no, I've got nothing to do, if I'm honest, really. I turn up to work, but to be fair, I'm not sure why they really pay me. I just come. Obviously, that's not going to be great for your career. So you do say it, but I'm sure majority of times you feel that you are a busy person. And busy is not the answer you should be saying. You might be busy, but you're not being effective. You're not being efficient. You're not adding real value. Let's face it, if hard workers was the measure of success, the measure of wealth, then all those people out there, the ones who fix the roads, the healthcare professionals, the school teachers who work those hours that they do, they'd be the one with the wealth, wouldn't they? They'd have the LA big house with all the fancy stuff. You know, that's not how life works. Hard graft can get you so far, but most of the time the people working hard are not the people who are getting the rewards. So how do you change? Well, if you're on this show and you're listening as a manager and a leader, which most of you will be, you know that if you are being busy doing non-urgent, non-important things, then realistically you're not adding value. And of course, it's easy to slip into doing those kind of jobs because they're there. And a lot of times, they're the stuff you're good at. So stuff that's not really your pay grade now, you might like diving in and doing. It makes you feel like your days are full, that you're doing all this really kind of busy stuff and you don't have a minute. And I know, and you'll probably know, when you walk into work, you can tell who the people who are there constantly. They come to work early and they stay till late, and they always seem to be so busy. But are they? Are they actually adding any value? Are they really doing what they should be doing? Or are they doing somebody else's work? So how do you fix this idea of being completely under the cosh, totally busy, but without really adding value? Well, there is the old matrix, the 2x2 box, which is a great starting tool to look at. It's the Eisenhower matrix, if you want to look it up. And it really says urgent and important on each side. So some things that are very urgent and very important, you do first. Things that are not important and not urgent, you should be looking at get rid of. That box matrix is a great start for you to look at and say, what should I be doing? What is urgent? And I've done that with some of my clients where I've stood there and we put a notepad up on the wall with the sticky notes, and we've wrote down everything that they think they should be doing or they are doing. And then we go through and we say, is this important? Does it push forward the business? Is it really urgent? If it happened in the next day, is it the end of the world if it misses it, or can it be done by the end of the week? And then the things are, other stuff is stuff that you're not doing. Are there things in there that you should really not be doing? So you start to build up a plan. And then when you look at it, you're looking at your urgent and important and what you should be focused on. Now, sometimes your boss is going to be a factor in this. If you are really set on what you're doing, you know that you've got a certain amount of work to do, and then your boss rings and says, drop what you're doing, there's a really urgent case, I need you to go do X, then obviously you're going to do that. And then there is the pressure of your subordinates. Sometimes they try to give you work. They go up the ladder and try to give you stuff that they don't want to do, or they come with issues that they should be dealing with. So the big takeaway from when you're looking at being busy is, are you being efficient and effective at what you do? If you're not, why? Where is your time going? Do you actually know how your day should be structured? The amount of professionals I work with, and they don't have a structured day. They go, oh yeah, I've got things to do. I'm not sure what I'm doing. My diary's quite empty. I'm waiting for the next meeting to drop in. So I'll just do whatever is there, or whatever email comes in first. So there you have a very unorganised way of dealing with this pressure of being busy in business. What you've got to do is say, I'm going to structure my day. And I know the people out there going, oh, I'm just not into that kind of structure. I'm kind of a free spirit. That's brilliant if you've got a hobby or you work for yourself and you're someone who doesn't mind not really delivering well. But if you want to be a high performer who delivers well and does the role that they're doing and maybe goes further, you are going to have to put your own structure. You're going to have to look at how your days, weeks are structured. So what we're doing is, the first thing you should be doing is looking at your calendar and looking at what meetings you've got, what the things you should be doing, because some of those meetings won't be important and urgent. Use that idea of important and urgent, and then structure time in your day to do the things that really are adding value for the business. What they are really paying you to do them first, getting them done. If there's things that are landing out of the blue from your boss, have a conversation with the boss. If it's more than once every sort of week or maybe 2 weeks that these important and urgent things drop in, if they're coming every day, then there's an issue. There's an issue of what jobs you should be doing and what jobs should be done with elsewhere. So have the conversation in your next one-to-one with your boss and talk through those issues. If you are going to be given work from them, and that's totally normal for a boss to give subordinates work, you need to adjust and say, look, boss, I am full. This is the work I am working on. These are the projects I've got. This is the urgent and important things that I feel. But let's work together. Is there something in here that I've missed? Should I be dropping some of these out? Can you give me some guidance? Because when you're giving me these other works, it's throwing these other projects back, which means I'm not delivering and I'm not being efficient. I'm sure that person would respect that conversation. If it's with your subordinates and they're trying to give you work, well, of course, that's another conversation you need to be having with them. You need to be discussing why you feel this work should be remaining with them. Maybe setting a very simple structure for those to say, these are your jobs to be done. These are the roles I've given you. This is your expected workload. I would like an update on them every week. We'll have a project meeting and we'll discuss it. If you get stuck in between there, then I can schedule some time, but you can't just walk into my office and say, can you look at this, boss? Because I have this work to do, and it's very important that we have our lines of communication. So again, a very adult conversation with your directs to discuss what they want to do. I think the takeaway from today is being busy is not how you should be working as a professional manager. You should be structured. You should be getting your day structured. You should be able to cope with the odd curveball. But if it becomes too unstructured, then you're not going to add value. You're going to slip into doing unimportant and unurgent things. And that will not deliver the results you want. Right, well, one of the results I want from you today is for you to email at managermattpodcast@gmail.com so you could tell me how good or bad this episode is. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe, as I said earlier, like, comment and share. But also, if you do really feel that there's a subject that you want me to talk of, pop it in the comments. Let's have a conversation around which areas you feel that I could help you, guide you, and give you some of my knowledge. Well, that's it for Manager Matt this week. Thank you so much for listening and watching, and goodbye.
Thank you so much for listening to this Manager Matt podcast. We hope you found it interesting, helpful and actionable. One last thing, please leave a quick review on iTunes or with your podcast provider, as it helps to spread the word of Manager Matt. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the podcast, and if you did like anything in particular, send an email to managermattpodcast@gmail.com or visit managermatt.co.uk for more content. Feedback is a gift, so let's keep giving. See you next week.